Hello, ladies, and welcome back to another episode of Get 'em Girl, a girl's guide to relationships, femininity, dating, polarity, and attraction. So today I want to just jump right in because someone made a comment and I felt like I wanted to kind of address this topic of decentering men and all of these different things that, like they say on the TikTok community, on social media, that's just kind of this reoccurring thing, right? It's decenter men, and all of that. Here's the thing. Do I feel like there are some points to this kind of way of thinking? I think there are some points to it, but what I really feel is a lot of the girls have went way far left with the idea of centering men. And I say that because when you listen to these people speak, they want nothing to do with men. Everything a man say, they breathing heavy. They like, oh my God, I don't want to hear that. He can't explain nothing to you. Otherwise, it's mansplaining. All these different things to where you can tell there's a level of them just being fed up with men in general, right? And so what I want to say to you ladies is, in all reality, it is a emotional response to past hurts. It is a defense mechanism to go that far to say decenter men to the point where you almost don't want anything to do with them, right? And I think that comes from past, that comes from hurt, that comes from being in situations where you may not have chosen to give the right person your trust and give the right person the ability to lead you, right? And so you get this response of wanting to go in the opposite direction because you've been hurt in the past. And so what I'm going to say to you ladies, if you would learn how to actually experience men, if you would learn how to actually study a man that is courting you, if you would learn those things, you would not feel the need to go as far as to say decenter men. What you would learn is how to have your own life, how to have your own things going on while learning this person and figuring out if they are a person who can lead you. Because you can have both. Okay, it doesn't have to be, oh, I want a man, and then when things happen, oh, I'm completely decentering man. It doesn't have to be so one or the other. And so what I want you to learn how to do is to fine tune and study men that you are dating, how to actually study them, how to actually learn them. Because a lot of times what happens is if you're in a space where you're dating or you're interested in finding a person, a lot of times what happens is you start dating a person, you find these little small things that you start to like about this person. So it's like, I love the way he looks. I like his voice. I like, oh, he's sexy. All these things, right? And you start to envision what that would be like if y'all were together. You start to create this fairy tale whirlwind. You're falling in love with the idea of who he could be to you and how y'all could be together. You start going off the deep end instead of actually experiencing him as he is. Instead of actually paying attention to him, studying the things that he does, studying if he can be a good leader, you start to create who you want to be, who you want this person to be. You start to create potential for them. Okay. And instead of doing that, I need you to study. Okay. Instead of being that, I need you to actually examine this person and decide if this is where your trust should be going. Is this who can lead you? Okay, ladies, when you meet someone and you're enjoying the time that y'all are having together, I want you to stop yourself from doing all of that daydreaming. Stop yourself from doing all of this romanticizing of what things could be and look at the fact of what it is. Look at what he shows you. So a big thing, especially if for ladies who are wanting someone who's masculine, who can be a provider, you're going to want to look at his problem solving skills. Okay. How does he think when problems come up, because they will? How does he think? How does he maneuver? Is he overly emotional? Does he throw caution to the wind, or is he someone that can sit down and think through a process and get to a result that is feasible, that is amicable, that is effective. Okay, those are things that you want to be looking at when you're talking about a person who is going to be a masculine leader, a masculine provider. You want to know that he is responsible in the things that he does. He cares about his name. He's not going to just do anything, say anything, be anywhere because of the kind of man that he is. You want to be vetting to see what kind of activities that he's willing to do, what kind of people he's willing to be around, what kind of things he's willing to interact with, to tell you whether or not this is the kind of man who, outside of me, just for himself, cares about the way he carries himself, cares about his legacy enough to not just be anywhere doing anything. Because one thing that I always tell my ladies, it's like, yes, when you get with a person, they should not do you wrong, right? They should not be a certain way to you. But what you really want to find is a man who will not do those things, not because of you, but he will not do certain things because he doesn't want it to be seen that he would do them that way. Do you get what I'm saying, ladies? You want a person that wouldn't do certain things because they wouldn't do these things with or without you, right? When you're talking about a man that's respectable, a man that's not just in any woman's face, a man who's not just for the community. You want a man that, yes, like in a relationship, you don't want him to do those things, but you want him to be that kind of guy, even if he was single. Even if he was single, you would want him to be a man that has a certain kind of standard to where he's just not going to be in anybody's face. You want that to be him already without you. Right, ladies? You want him to have standards for himself without you so that you're not the sole reason that he's upkeeping some kind of standard. Because if you're the sole reason that he's upkeeping a standard, the moment that y'all get mad at each other, the moment that things start going a little south in the relationship and y'all start to have troubles, where his reason is gone. His reason is completely gone. And if you're that reason and things are not going well with you, then that means he resorts to his old ways of doing whatever it is that he wants. You want to be with a man who's going to hold himself to a certain standard outside of you. How does he do things regardless of whether or not you're in the picture? How does he carry himself regardless of whether or not you're there telling him what's right and what's wrong? How does he carry himself? Take time to experience that instead of creating this fairy tale of what he could be. And you will find that you will stop putting your trust in men who do not deserve it. And you will not be putting your trust in men that are not ready to lead. Because as you keep making those decisions and you keep playing into these daydreams and making it a fairy tale when it's not, you're going to keep putting your trust into men that do not deserve it. And you're going to be one of those ladies who are talking about decentering men. You're going to be talking about all these things of, I will not let a man lead me. I don't trust no man to lead. That's a trigger. That's a defense mechanism, ladies. That's what it is. I can 100% guarantee you if those women ran into the man that they really wanted today, all that decentering men and all that kind of stuff would be out the window. Because it's not that these women do not want a man. They do. Most of these women actually do want a man, but they've been hurt by things in the past and they're trying to protect themselves. Okay, they're trying to protect themselves from somebody being able to hurt them. But the answer is not to decenter a man. The answer is to actually learn whoever this is that is in your face and learn them for who they are. Experience them. Don't make up what they could be. Don't daydream about what it could be or how you can change them. Look at what they are and make a decision on if this person can lead me. Okay, make that decision. And the way that you go about doing this is first you have to work on self. You have to work on your boundaries. Establish what you want out of life. Establish what you want for yourself. Figure out what you want your life to look like and better yourself as a woman. So when it comes to attracting and entertaining men, when it comes to men that you're actually interacting with, you're choosing better men because you are better. Okay. And in choosing those better men, as you're dating this man, you're looking at what they actually are, what they actually provide, how they operate, how they problem solve, how they provide for you. Do they make you feel safe? You're looking at all of these things and you are making a actual good decision on whether or not you're going to allow this man to lead you, rather than throwing caution to the wind and letting a man lead you just based off of emotion. That's what gets you in a situation where you feel like, I don't want a man to lead me anymore and all of this stuff. That's what gets you there. Okay, ladies, stop daydreaming. Stop daydreaming your way through dating. Stop doing that. Stop daydreaming your way into relationships. Okay, stop daydreaming about what a person could be and what they might turn into if they just got a little love from you. Stop trying to feed this person all this potential that they haven't shown you that they have. It's just what you want them to have. That's what gets you in situations where you're letting people lead you and they have no track record of being able to do that. You've created a track record. You've daydreamed it to where you think it's possible, it's real. All I got to do is this, and then he'll start acting this way. And I know if he starts doing this, then we'll be good. That's not what you should be doing in this situation. This is your time to learn the man. This is your time to experience who he is at his core. Okay, stop wanting to rush into being in love and in this fairy tale. Stop rushing into that. Decide the things that you want. For me personally, I love a problem solver. I love a man, when I say there's something going on, he gonna go ahead and handle it for me. I love that. My husband is great at that. That's one of the top things that I would look for, right? I love a person who has great communication because I'm a communicator, obviously. So I love a person with great communication who, when it comes time to actually discuss some things, he's not always ready to get hype and run out the door, but can sit down and actually have a conversation about the things at hand. I love a communicator. Okay, decide these things that you want. I love a provider. Okay, I love a man who sees a need or sees a want and is willing to go out of his way to make it happen. Who's willing to pull out of his pocket to make it happen. I love that. So decide what are the things that are core to you. What are the things that you really want? And then look at the man for what he is and decide if he's capable of doing these things. Don't say, oh, he could be capable if he would just work on this, or maybe if I start helping him do this, he'll be more willing to provide. And maybe if I zhuzh him this way. Pick men who are doing the things already that you say that you want. Pick men who already have that in them without you being in a relationship. Pick men who naturally do these things. Stop fighting with every other Tom, Dick, and Joe trying to convince them to be the kind of man that you want. You go after the men that you want, okay? Or let them come after you. Entertain men that you actually know do the things that you say you like. Stop trying to convince men who don't do these things to start doing them. Pick men who do it. Pick men who want to do it. Pick men who are wired that way. Don't pick somebody that you got to convince to do it, because the moment you get to convincing, it may work for a little bit, but the moment something happens and he ain't feeling it, or y'all into it or something like that, and that thing falls off, it's because it wasn't a part of him in the first place. He just did it because you told him to. Okay, ladies, decide to date men who are what you want. Stop trying to create a man into what you want, and you won't have so many issues with putting your trust in the wrong man and letting the wrong man lead you. Because you do that so many times, you will be one of those women talking about, I want to just decenter men and all this kind of stuff. No, you don't. You're just scared. And a part of it is you don't trust yourself to pick the right man. So that means there's work that needs to be done. You don't trust yourself to pick a man who's going to do what he says he's going to do, who's going to provide for you, who's going to problem solve, who's going to enjoy your femininity. You don't trust yourself to actually pick that man. So now you want a decenter man as a way to not pick the wrong one. How about you just learn how to pick the right one? How about you just learn how to entertain the men who actually deserve to be entertained? Because we love men. I don't care how much a woman be like, no, I would never, and all this kind of stuff. The next thing you know, she be in a relationship with somebody, you be like, where did that come from? I thought you didn't want no man. Somebody came into her face and she was interested. So she didn't really want a decenter man. She was just scared. So instead of spending your time worrying about decentering men, how about you spend your time concerned with, how do I pick a better man? What do I need to do for me in my mindset, in my goals and aspirations, and in my femininity, to make it to where I know how to pick better men, to where I know how to entertain better men. And I'm not out here in the business of convincing men to be everything I need them to be, but that I'm actually going and picking men that already are what I need them to be. So what things in this time frame can I be working on to make sure I pick better instead of just worrying about decentering men? What do I need to be working on? What do I actually want out of life? And what qualities does a man have that would fit that would be able to make that happen? If you want a provider, a lot of women be like, I want a man that's rich. False. You want a provider, you don't want a man that's rich. You want a man that's generous. How about you take some time to start getting to know what qualities line up with the things that you say you want, so when you see them in a man, you can recognize that fits. Because if you want a provider, you don't just go get a rich man, you go get a generous one. That's what you're really looking for. You need to sit down and study what you want. You need to sit down and figure out what you want, so when you see it, you can pick it, and then you don't have to worry about your trust being misplaced. Then you don't have to worry about some big issue coming around where you stop trusting your own picker and you decide to start decentering men. Because you don't want to do that, actually. The women who are saying they want to decenter men, they don't really want to. It's just a defense mechanism. Okay, ladies. So I just wanted to pop in and talk about that, because I've been seeing this decentering men every single place. And I'm like, y'all know y'all want a good man. Y'all know y'all want good love. If the right man was in your face, you would take him right now in your process of trying to decenter men. You would take him. So you don't really want to decenter a man. What you really want is to shield yourself from the bad ones. But the only way you can really do that is to do some work on yourself, evaluate yourself, better yourself, figure out what it is you really want, and find out what qualities match that, and then pick that. That's how you shield yourself from picking the wrong guy, from letting the wrong guy lead you. Okay, ladies? So I just wanted to jump in and give y'all that little nugget while I can. We don't have to decenter men over here, ladies. We love our men, and we know that. Like, let's just be honest with ourselves. We love men. And so your best gift to yourself is going to have to be figuring out how to pick the right one. Okay? So thank you, ladies, for tuning in to another episode of Get 'em Girl. I hope that this all made sense. If you have anything you want to ask me, any questions, any comments, go ahead and get in the comment section down below. Let me know, and I will see y'all in the next episode. Bye.